Welcome to the interview with Amasami by Buddhist Door Global. Thank you, Amasami, for joining us. For those who don't know Amasami, I will read a summary of his biography as a Zen master. Amasami is the first Indian Zen teacher. He was trained under Yamada Koun Roshi of the Sambo Kyodan in Japan. In 1982, Yamada Roshi authorized him to teach Zen. Amasami's teaching method embraces both Soto and Rinzai Zen traditions. In 1986, he founded the Bodhi Sangha, the community of his disciples. He founded Bodhi Zendo in 1996 and Kanzeon Zendo in 2022. He now lives and teaches at Kanzeon Zendo, where we are right now. Since Enomiya Lassalle first invited Amasami to join him on a tour of Europe in 1985, Amasami spent several months every year leading retreats in Europe, Australia, and the USA. With the help of his students, he also runs Pearl and Little Flower, two non-profit organizations that help women, children, and landless people in South India. Amasami, you teach meditation. What is meditation for you?
Meditation has many meanings. It's simply entering into yourself, being aware of yourself, and using that as our internal journey to awakening or self-realization. Okay.
And what is Zen, according to you?
Zen originally is a Mahayana branch. Mahayana went from India to China, and from China it spread to Japan and Korea. In China it was called Chan. In Japan it is called Zen. And in Korea, Son. Actually the name Zen is Japanese. It simply means meditation, dhyana. And so this is the most popular form of meditation practice in the West now.
You have a particular way to teach koans.
Yes, not only koans, the whole way of Zen, I differ from the traditional ways or Sambokyodan ways, you see. My practice is also, it's not simply self-achievement or an experience, it is a self-realization. So, and it's based on faith. Faith in the self, the teacher, and the way of Zen.
You have written a lot of books about Zen and about koans.
Not only about koans or Zen, I written also chapters of different subjects, psychology, philosophy, religion, and so on. Yeah. Because
you have explored some psychotherapists, and you think they are interesting for people.
You see, psychotherapy is good for emotional, psychological problems, not for Zen meditation. They should not mix up therapy and Zen. Zen is different from therapy. Zen is all comprehensive and superior to therapy. See, therapy deals with psychological problems. You see.
But if somebody has some emotional problems,
they can go to therapy, first deal with the therapy, and then come to Zen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In which sense do you think koans can help to become aware of awareness?
See, koans are simply stories from the Tang period in China. That was events taking place between the students and the masters, and sometimes even general theories or approaches. Koans are only questions about life, about world, about reality, and so on. You see, it's questions. Basically, the questions are: who are you? That is a basic question in the koans. and it explores different dimensions of reality and the self. It also comes close to Advaita, but it's not Advaita, it's different.
In which sense?
It's difficult to explain because Advaita is coming more from the Hindu tradition, from Upanishads. Zen is more from the master-student relationship. Zen embraces body, the world, and self. Advaita is only about understanding, jnana marga, wisdom-based, and also is mostly caste-based Advaita. Yeah.
Can we reach awakening just sitting, practicing shikantaza?
Just sitting is not enough. Just sitting is good. It is interiorizing your awareness, awakening. And koans are necessary to awakening because koans open the doors to reality, to the self. Without that, just sitting is not enough. But you need both. Just sitting, shikantaza, and koan, you need both, but one alone is not enough.
I don't know if you have realized that nowadays the term awakening is used superficially.
Of course, awakening can mean many things, and different traditions, religions use it different ways. See, awakening in Christian term also means a resurrection, you see, awakening to new life. And so the different meanings are there. And the Zen is different approach. And also my way is different from the ordinary Zen way.
In which way?
It's difficult to say in which way. I briefly mentioned, awakening is not a self-achievement, not by self-effort, not mere experience. It is self-realization based on faith and trust and so on, you see. And so it is only when you practice you will know, more or less. Simply theorizing is not enough.
No. And you talk about compassion very much.
See, compassion and enlightenment are two legs of the same reality. If you are enlightened, automatically you must be compassionate. Your compassion should lead you to an awakening or enlightenment. You can't separate either. Of course, you can be compassionate without enlightenment, and many of the Zen students are awakened but without compassion. That is only half awakening, not a real awakening. Imperfect awakening, yeah.
Maybe it's the most difficult thing to attain, the compassion.
Yeah, you must, your world must be spent in compassion because the world is yourself. And so compassion must flow from awakening.
Meditation can lead us to experience compassion?
Can lead us. It depends on the way the teacher helps you and so on. You see, simply meditation alone will not do. The teacher must orient you. And the way also practice, it must be orientation towards compassion. Yeah. Otherwise, simply sitting in meditation alone will not work. Most like Theravada monks, even yogis, simply meditate, it's satisfied with themselves, and they go away with themselves, not caring for the world, caring for others.
Speaking of that, lately many meditators avoid the focus on spirituality.
Yeah, they usually avoid religion, not spirituality. They say meditation is spirituality or spiritual. Religion is more dogmatic, hierarchical, institutional, and so they don't like religion. But you can't separate spirituality from religion. Spiritualities are rooted in religion in a way. Even Zen is rooted in Mahayana Buddhism. It is a religion, you see, based on faith. So you can't avoid focusing only on spirituality without roots in religion.
And you cannot meditate avoiding spirituality neither. Or you can, but...
Yes, of course there is secular form of meditation. It is simply on mindfulness, awareness. That's not a proper meditation, you see. Meditation must be grounded in spirituality, and spirituality must be grounded in religion.
If not, it may be a mental exercise.
Yeah, that's true. If there is no spirituality or religious experience, it is simply psychological or mental exercise. Yeah.
Which is interesting also. But
of course, it's good in a way, gives you some relaxation, some peace. That's helpful. Huh? Even healing it can give, but that's not enough.
Not enough. Lately, Stoicism has many followers. They say that this acceptance of the difficulties without complaint is the same as the Buddhist acceptance. Do you agree?
No. Sometimes, of course, even Zen or Buddhism tends towards Stoicism. But Zen or Buddhism is not Stoicism, you see. It's very different ways. Stoicism is fatalism, accepting everything, and then whatever happens to the world, that accept that. That is Stoicism. So Stoicism is not Zen proper, though sometimes Zen tends towards Stoicism. Even Buddhism very much tends towards Stoicism. But that's not real Buddhism or Zen.
Could you explain the difference between acceptance and resignation?
Resignation simply means, it's something like a fatalism. This is my fate, I accept, I flow with that. It's a resignation. Acceptance means surrendering to life, surrendering to the divine reality. It is much more lively and faith-based, you see. Resignation is neither faith nor religious experience. It is simply fatalism. My fate is like that. I am in the caste, I am poor, I am male or female. That's the resignation. Accepting the societal hierarchy or structures. Okay, I am born like that, I accept that. That's the resignation. And acceptance is, it is something called willingness. Willfulness is egoism. Willingness is accepting life, accepting the divine reality, and surrendering to the reality.
Can you talk about consciousness? Is witness consciousness the same as emptiness, or is it just the door?
You see, witness consciousness, the major form of consciousness. Consciousness always, Sanskrit sakchin is a witness, and it is aware of everything. And you can be conscious of or aware of what your childhood experience were, adolescent experience, adult experiences. This is consciousness. But consciousness is witness. It is sort of witnessing all your life, all realities. And so this is different. Of course, there is also sort of what you call ordinary consciousness, awareness of the body heat, body suffering, and so on. But that's not proper consciousness. That is sort of modification of consciousness. Witness consciousness is proper consciousness, and you can equate that with emptiness.
Okay. Another question. Is there a soul, according to Zen?
So, of course, that's a very difficult question. Soul simply means the principle which vivifies you, that is, gives you life. And so it gives you life, gives you the experiences and the emotions and so on. Without that soul, we are not alive. Soul can be many levels. Even vegetables have souls, animals have souls, and humans have souls. Human souls are different from animal or vegetation, you see. And so without soul, we are not human. But you must make a difference between spirit and soul, you see. And usually the archetypal psychology of Hillman and so on, they will make a difference. So soul is down to earth, very much dealing with the body, with the emotions, with the psyche. Spirit is much more above, so rather ethereal, or sort of more like angelic, you see, not getting involved with the day-to-day life and so on, you see. And soul is involved with all those things. All those things which you experience is part of the soul.
You're a Zen master and a Catholic priest, but you don't teach Christian Zen.
No, you see, you must keep separate Christianity and Zen. I've written some articles. One good article is in Falling Grasses, Fragrant Grasses, Falling Blossoms. Title is Religion and Zen. I mention is there are two different things, you see. When you practice Christianity, do practice. When you practice Zen, you must, that is a passing over. Pass over into Zen completely, and if you want to, can come back to Christianity, you see. So it's a passing over and coming back. And when you are in Zen, be totally Zen, forget Christianity. Of course, Christianity and Zen will be mutually influencing each other. That's okay, that's not a problem. But keep separate, because the world vision of Zen is the wealth and Shaung, you see. World vision of Zen is different from Christian vision of reality. Yeah.
What made you realize that Zen is your path?